So thanks for coming in, girls, to talk to us today about interior design and the benefits and value that interior design brings to development projects.
Oh, it's our pleasure, Pete. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So girls, what are the benefits of engaging an interior designer?
Ooh, I feel like it's a long list, to be honest.
It's quite long. Firstly, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We know products, we know suppliers, we know all of that stuff.
Yep. It's kind of like anything. We're not going to try our hands at carpentry because we're not a carpenter, so we would hire a carpenter. So for the average punter who's coming to us for assistance with interior design, they're coming to us because we know what we're doing and they can't quite get all of their vision out, I guess, to give to their builder or to their architect or draftsperson or whoever that might be. So, you know, by hiring an interior designer, it means that vision can come out of you, we'll produce that, we'll produce a whole kind of documentation package, and it means less kind of questions come build time and things can be done at a quicker pace.
And I think as well, it's a visual process as well, so the clients really see and bring the vision together, and it's just a beautiful package that we can
so you
produce.
turn what people have got inside their heads,
Yeah.
you'll make sure that flows through into, I guess, their end product.
Yeah, basically, and it all comes about through our whole process. You know, from the start, there'll be a questionnaire with each new client, and we kind of take a deep dive into what's going on inside their brain and how their family lives and wants to live inside their new space.
How
And
they eat their toast, where they eat their toast.
yep.
all
Do they
that
have a
stuff.
bath with a glass of wine? All those types of things. It gets
so
that
lifestyle
personal.
comes into,
Absolutely.
yep.
Yep. And from there, we're kind of able to really start to kind of pull together a bit of a look and feel, and then we'll seek guidance to see that we're on the right track. But it really, I think, just helps the client focus on what they need to focus on, and we focus on how the home is going to look and feel.
Do people get concerned with how much an interior designer may cost?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do. But do you know what? I think often it can be a bit of a misconception because at the end of the day, we're producing a full documentation package and interior detailing package that takes all the hard work out of that for the client.
And I think in the build process as well, it kind of eliminates errors, issues.
Yeah.
It's all there and ready to go.
I think obviously with any project, budget needs to be considered, and if you're not planning on spending a huge amount of money, or if it's a property to flip or whatever, perhaps maybe the money is not better spent on services that we offer, and it's better spent on, you know, the actual consultants that you definitely require. But if it's a property that you are kind of, you know, you're going to live in or you're designing for somebody, then definitely I think it's well worth seeking an expert or professional in that field.
I think as well, it helps when you engage an interior designer to help pick those elements that you really want to shine in those areas when your budget's concerned.
Yeah,
So we can help eliminate those non-necessary things and then bring in other things that are really important to you.
Yeah, great. When you talk about the documentation and being able to go and run a proper tender build tender process,
Yep.
I guess that we see a lot of value in that, I guess, from a developing sense.
Yeah.
And getting right pricing from our builders.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, when you are going through that tender process, the other arm of our business is construction. So, and I think one of the things that we offer is the end-to-end package. So, and it just makes that tender process so much easier. We know exactly what we have to cost for the job. The client gets those costings and they know pretty much, aside from anything that's unforeseen, that that's the price that their build is going to cost. And I think, you know, when we receive packages from other interior designers or other architects and it's not fully specified, it can almost be that kind of, you're not really quoting apples for apples. It's you're picking a price out of thin air of what something might cost, say tiles, for instance, that might not be specified, and you're putting an allowance on that, but the real cost could vary greatly. And even when it comes down to joinery detailing, for example, you might have, you know, a very basic kitchen design or living room entertainment unit design or bedroom wardrobe design or something, and you know, you're kind of quoting based off what's there, but it's actually not detailed and considered to how the client actually needs it to be. So the costs can move up and down then depending on that. Design fees offsetting kind of the time delays that can often happen with someone who is trying to do everything themselves as well, and having it designed by a professional who can cut that time in half. And also then make selections and do details that work with a budget, and it's not a guessing game.
So we've found in our developments since we've been using you guys that buyers that buy our product, they don't really get involved in picking the finishes and fixtures anymore because it's been done by a professional and it looks really awesome.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people that might come to you looking for a product, they don't want to do that. They want a turnkey property that they can move into, and all of the hard work has been done for them, and all they have to worry about is moving day. So I think, us being able to offer a service like that, and within our business, we've structured it so that it is scalable. We can offer as much or as little as you want. With you guys, we provide you with a full documentation package that includes all the fixtures and finishes that a builder would really need to, one, quote the job, and two, complete the job. So, that's a really great offering, and it's a really, really popular service. On the other spectrum is the end-to-end for us. We work closely with the architects and draftspeople to actually create the floor plan, working on the client's brief from the get-go and then right through to the end.
Yep.
So what do people need to consider when engaging interior designers?
I think it's a relationship, essentially. I think you need to pick someone who you resonate with initially. Obviously your budget, aesthetic, all of that kind of stuff.
You're going to be working closely together for, the best part of a year at least.
Minimum.
At least, yep. So you need to make sure that, one, you're connecting with the person that you're working with.
Good connection with your client.
Absolutely, for sure. And then two, that us, the interior designer, is listening to you as well. A lot of the time the client's trying to convey something or has an idea and they just can't get it across. So being able to really listen and understand and break down what that is or what they're trying to say, or I guess ideally want, I think is really important. That it all comes down to that relationship.
We're essentially friends, psychologists, designers, all of the above.
Yep.
And
definitely.
try and pick an interior designer that's going to listen to you rather than maybe running off on their own tangent and maybe got their own agenda at play.
That's exactly right. That was the word I was about to use, agenda.
Yeah.
It is a really kind of big issue in our industry. I feel like there are a lot of creatives out there, interior designers, but architects as well, that kind of just, they design for portfolio, not to actually see their work come to life.
And not for clients, I think. And the brief's missed, the budget's blown out.
Yeah.
It's for a magazine, essentially.
Yeah. And I think we're exposed to a lot of that because of the construction side of our business. And as I've said about taking on jobs from other architects and designers, they've been working on it for years. And by the time it gets to us and we've costed it, it's double the budget because it's not really been considered properly early on. Or perhaps, there's been a rise in construction costs or rise in materials or whatever it might be.
I think it's a lack of education right from the get-go. Even when you're studying, I think you're not taught pricing or how to cost things, so that's not really taken into consideration. You're just designing a beautiful space. So we really consider that when we do everything that we do.
And that's like, I'd imagine that's super important. You guys get involved right at the start, and if you get halfway through and all the work you've done is resulting in, could be hundreds of thousands of dollars in build blowouts, all that work, is that for nothing? That's...
Yes and no. We would never let it get to that point, though.
Dani always vetoes me. No, that's too expensive.
And that's why it's really good. We have such a collaborative approach within our office. We're working closely with our builder and construction manager. So we and we're always actually costing while we're doing things. If we're thinking about choosing a material or an item, we're always kind of investigating what the cost implications might be.
And how it's going to be applied and how much of that will be applied.
Exactly. And if it's even possible as well. Because a lot of people, creatives especially, will have these grand ideas that actually will never work.
Don't make code, all that kind of stuff.
So you work closely with your build side to check, and obviously buying things and that sort of stuff, you keep your finger on the pulse, how much things are costing.
Absolutely, all the time.
It's the first thing we do initially when we pick a product.
And I think, with the work that we do for you guys, we're able to really kind of understand the benchmark in terms of where cost has to sit and what products we have to choose from the big material pool that will fall in line with those costings. It can be challenging sometimes, but that's part of what we do all day, every day. We love the challenge of having to find new and amazing things to apply to
that are cost effective and different.
So I know that's where the value sits with us as a developer and the clients we work for. Sticking to budgets and achieving our margins is probably the most important thing in our business. So as you guys know, aligning ourselves with Red Door Projects allows us to have our cake and eat it too, I suppose. Look amazing and be amazing, but still hit your margins.
And I think that's the beauty of also that product, essentially, the meet you halfway, which is what we do for you guys, it kind of takes out of a little bit of the emotion. So with an end-to-end design, we're literally, we're basically having lunch and breakfast and dinner with our clients. We're with them a lot. We're always talking to them. We're always communicating with them. We're in each other's heads, basically. And we need to know them inside and out and how they
every
live.
corner,
Yeah.
every corner of that space.
So there's a lot of emotion in that, and we're definitely designing the project with all that emotion. Whereas the Meet You Halfways, there is the emotion, but it's more about creating a space we know is going to function right and look really good and is going to be within budget.
Yeah, correct. And it's more probably a holistic view and to, I guess, appeal to a broader market, I suppose, rather than, you're honing into to a single client.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of our research.
Yeah, we do market research of the area, what's going on out there.
Other offerings.
Exactly.
What people are buying, what they're wanting. Trends, not so much, because we kind of like to steer clear of trends. I think inspiration from, for sure, but we kind of like to just run our own race and think about what we want to see in that particular
I'd say
product.
it'd be more colour palettes that we'd follow and what's going to not date,
A bit more
essentially.
timeless. So as the years go by, the property doesn't devalue.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, the buyer might not be going to be there forever. So they probably too will be thinking about resale at some point and buying a product that isn't going to limit their market come that time as well. So they're all considerations.
So thanks again for coming in, guys, and explaining to people why they should use an interior designer. I think it's really valuable in any project, one-off build, development, whatever it is. I think the amount of real estate you're dealing with and the dollar figures we're talking about, I think it's probably too risky to not use an interior designer. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. It's been great.